All right, folks, we're in South Central Alaska. For the next week, I'm gonna be out here by myself. I've got no food, no water, and we're just gonna have to figure it out. I've never been here before, but from looking at the maps, it looks like there's a lake up here a few miles and a really nice river flowing out of the lake back into the sound here. So my plan is to hike up to that lake, see if we can find some salmon along the way. But we'll have to figure out water, food, shelter, all of that stuff. Ought to be fun. Or maybe not, you never know. Get up on this beach without puncturing a hole in this pack raft on a barnacle. The tidal fluctuation here is pretty dramatic. I'm standing, I just landed on the beach, and later on today, this will probably be under 12 feet of water, 10 feet of water. But these rocks are covered with blue mussels, and all these are good to eat. And then this seaweed here, right here, is bladderwrack, I believe. But this is also food. Doesn't really taste like anything though. But maybe bladderwrack, mussel, chowder, something. Stew. This pack is really more of a day pack. It's not really intended for what I'm using it for. But with all the camera gear, the pack raft, the waders, the wading boots, the life vest, all of this stuff, I'm looking at close to 70 pounds on this pack. So it's quite the load. So hopefully this trail is not too bad. Otherwise it's going to be a bit of a struggle. But we'll make it. So I've got bear spray and my pistol just in case. Hopefully won't have to use either one of them, but better to have them not need them than need them and not have them. Man, you couldn't ask for a more beautiful day. Just not a cloud in the sky. So this coastal rainforest is very wet. I don't know what the average annual precipitation here is, but it's got to be very high. But there's moss and ferns all over everything. All the wood's damp. So just getting a fire going in this country can be a bit of a challenge. I'm gonna try to start a friction fire. The only blade I brought is just a little folding knife and a saw. But I did bring a lighter as backup. I'm gonna try to not use it, but you know, I am out in the middle of nowhere and there's nobody else around, so oh, there's an eagle. I don't want to die, so you know, have backup just in case. Oh, there goes another eagle. there should be sockeye running up these streams here. The main river is over there, but this big delta, it's just a bunch of braided streams, but there's a small stream coming in right here. But I'm guessing that later on today, when the tide comes in, all this will be underwater. I think I may have bumped a bear back here. I've been seeing, I just saw a pretty fresh pile of bear scat, but heard a branch break. Didn't ever see anything, but haven't seen any sign of other animals. And it was a pretty big branch. Kind of get off trail a little bit down in this overgrown. There's a bunch of devil's club and ferns in here, but I think the trail's just right up here. But this stuff is not fun. Not fun at all. Devil's club is full of spikes. Whew, found it. Yeah, that stuff is nasty down there. I think I got about another mile or so to go. But in that time, I've seen 6 piles of bear scat. 4 of them are, I don't know, within the last week or so anyway. But they're definitely in here. So that's probably the freshest bear sign I've seen yet. Doesn't look like a super big bear, but I mean, it's decent size. They're here. We've got some pretty spectacular views in Idaho, but I mean, look at this. This is next level. I can get much prettier than that. Almost there. Got another quarter mile or so to the lake shore. And we'll find a place to set up for tonight. So I'm almost to where I think I want to camp, but just taking a break. Got out into another one of these big fern fields. These ferns are like 6 foot tall. I don't know what these, there's like, I don't know if you can see that. It's like a bazillion little gnats flying around. And they are beginning to bite me. I have to break out the bug spray with a head net. Not mosquitoes, I don't know what these things are. Okay, finally have made it. Oh, now I'm gonna get rained on with pine needles. Ooh. Big old gnarly. Is this a fir, spruce? I don't know. Oh my God. Holy shit. Whew. That was a lot bigger hike than I was expecting. It wasn't all that far, but man, get into these ferns, it's just wading. You gotta wading through that stuff. All right, I gotta find some bug stuff. I don't know what I did with that. I lost my tripod. I'm gonna have to go back and find that at some point. Damn. Hope I didn't lose anything else. So I had my tripod stuck in the top of my pack and I dropped it somewhere along the trail, so there's going to be a lot of this angle on this thing. See if I can trap some bugs in here with me. I've been staring at that river all day and I'm ready to go cast a line. I'm just gonna ease down here and cast a few times and see if I can snag something. It really sucks that I dropped my tripod. I'm gonna have to maybe tomorrow go for a hike and just hope that it's on the trail somewhere instead of one of those places where I was getting off the trail. No bites. I haven't even seen a fish trail it, but we'll keep trying. I think I'm gonna take a nap though. I'm whipped. I am gonna go ahead and get this pack raft blown up because it actually makes a pretty good mattress. So I'll get this blown up and I don't know, maybe we'll go explore this afternoon. Go for a short paddle, cast a line a few times, see if we can find a dolly or something. Hunker down in that deep water out there. It's nice when you have a little wind to help blow this thing up. So I've had this raft for probably, I don't know, 12 years. And when I ordered it, I chose factory choice on the color. I would suggest choosing your own color unless you like Ronald McDonald colors. So nice. Oh, that is beautiful. Let me get my glasses out of my head now. How in the world did I do that? I'm gonna have to bring Liz and the boys up here, a couple of pack rafts, maybe a little later when the fish are really coming in good. I think they'd like that. All right, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of time just to kind of show you some of the stuff that I brought here. So you already saw the pack raft, the PFD, the paddle, and my spinning rod is down there on the beach. In addition to that, I brought my sleeping bag. This is a 0 degree down bag. I did bring a lightweight tarp. Most of this stuff is camera gear. There's literally 25 pounds of camera gear here. A lot of it is this giant thing right here. This thing with the lens and the camera itself probably weighs close to 8.5 pounds, something like that. As far as camping gear, survival gear, whatever you want to call it, got my pack. I've got a little bit of paracord. I have got the spinning rod and reel down there, but I also brought my fly rod. This is a 5 weight, which is pretty light for up here, but I thought there might be cutthroat in this river. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Probably not, but we're gonna, if I happen to see any fish rising, I'll have the rod and reel ready for them. I brought a little emergency bivy sack, so this is probably what we're just primarily going to use unless it starts really raining. These gnats are crawling all over the lens. Speaking of rain, I did bring rain gear, both pants and a jacket. I brought my waders and wading boots, which we're probably going to put on when we start heading down this river. There's some shallow spots. Might have to get out and pull the raft or portage or something like that. Probably overkill, but rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them. Brought some flies to go along with the fly rod, and a little tackle box full of spinners and spoons and things like that. Brought some extra layers, so I've got a merino wool beanie here. Got a big wool pullover, which you guys have seen before if you've watched very many of my videos. There's a couple extra layers in here, extra like a pullover, stuff like that. But and my saw, did bring that, and a little bit of extra fishing line, and my bot. I've got some instant coffee inside this thing. I think that's everything. You see another pullover back there in the back, but I think that's everything. If I forgot anything, I will list it on the screen right now. I did not bring any kind of water filter or anything like that. Just been drinking straight out of the streams and the lake here. There are beaver in some of this stuff, so I'm avoiding the areas where they're backing water up and just drinking from the main body out here where the water is super clear, and it's coming from glaciers right here. But the UV light, when it hits that water, pretty much kills the cryptosporidium, giardia, all that stuff. So as long as you're careful not to stir up sediment, you get your water from the surface out, offshore just a little bit, should be good to go. I've drank water like that many times and have never gotten sick from anything like this. Now, I speak for myself. Maybe my immune system is better than most, I don't know. But I know that I've never gotten sick from drinking out of anything like this. It's gonna be my spindle. So I've got a bow drill kit made, but I have my doubts about that wood. It's really dense and the moisture's a little bit high. When I was burning in those notches, the char that you get was really, it didn't have that powdery consistency to it. It was more almost pilly like, and when it does that, it's generally has too much moisture. So those two things makes me kind of wonder a little bit. So I'm just going to do a little bit of beach combing here and see if I can find some driftwood that might be better, like that right there. That might be a little bit better. I'll make another set out of this. So I haven't seen any fish jump or roll or anything out here. It looked like maybe down around the mouth, down where this flows out into the salt. There may have been some activity down there. It was a long ways off from where I was last night, but could have been birds over there splashing around. But I'm thinking maybe it was fish. So we'll probably end up down there within the next couple of days if I can't find something. If I can't find some fish up here. Stuff here may be too soft. Oops. Nope. Oh, come on. I thought it was there. Nothing. Yeah. I've been at this for, I don't know, over an hour. And I cannot get this thing. I can't get this coal to take. Oh well. That's why I got a lighter. This duff, it's really thick under here and it's pretty soft. It's a little bit damp, which is a little bit concerning, but I'm gonna try to lay on it and just see if it's too cold. If it ends up being too cold, I'll lay the raft down upside down and climb on top of that. But I think it'll be okay. It's not gonna get super cold tonight. I'm guessing it'll probably get into the low 40s maybe. So I'm just gonna throw down my waders and my rain pants to just make sure I don't wick anything up through this bag. I don't think this bag is waterproof, but just want to make sure, put down a barrier between. You know, this stuff's pretty dry, but when you lay on it, you compress it. Any moisture that's in there, you'll bring to the surface. And last thing I want is a wet bag. So it's almost 8 p.m. and the sun is nowhere near setting. I'm not sure what time the sun will actually dip below the horizon, but it's midnight maybe. But it'll just barely go down a little bit and it'll get kind of twilight and then come back up. Just kind of makes a big circle. Never really fully sets this time of year. Makes it hard to sleep. I've got, it's one of the reasons I brought that beanie. I pull it down over my eyes so I can get a little bit of darkness anyway. But no fish today. I'm going to try fishing here in just a little bit. Just do a few more casts, maybe walk down the bank a little bit. But I'm not seeing any kind of activity on the water, which is a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. I had breakfast before I left the boat this morning, so I'm good for today. Hopefully, I'll catch fish tomorrow. The Northland does not give up her treasures easily. Well, no fish, not even a bump. Maybe we'll catch some fish tomorrow. I sure hope so. Well, good night, I guess. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to try to anyway. I'll see y'all in a few hours. Morning. 5:30 a.m. Not a bad place to wake up. Mosquitoes were buzzing around last night, but they didn't bother me too bad. I think I'm gonna make some coffee. Cheers. Cold instant coffee. Not the best. Oh, there's my head net. Got pulled out of my pocket last night. There's a little bit of blue sky up in there, but mostly cloudy. It's much better. There were some seals in here yesterday. Had some get pretty close, but it was too quick to get any footage of them. Be careful with them hooks on this here raft. These pack rafts are nice, but getting in and out of them is not an easy thing to do. If I can get away without having this bug net on my face for a while. So here's that little creek that's coming out, coming from the glacier way up top there. Well, I think I'm just gonna build a fire here just for the heck of it. Sit here and maybe cast out in front of this little delta here a little bit. Plenty of driftwood sitting around. something has been catching fish around here. It was 4 or 5 old salmon carcasses right along this beach here. Nothing fresh, but I don't know. We're probably too early in the season for them. But maybe we get lucky. Something tells me that seal out there is doing a little better with the fishing than I am. I think what I'm gonna do is head back to camp, go ahead and pack everything up, and maybe go downriver just a little bit, see if I can find a bend in the river, an eddy, a deep hole where I know there's salmon coming up the river, so I'm just gonna look for a place where they might kind of hole up and stage for a little bit before making the run on up. Maybe catch something, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Oh my God. Yes. Dinner. Whew. That was a surprise. First, and hopefully not only, fish of the trip. He's got gravel all over him, but he doesn't mind, he's dead. Dolly Varden. Gonna be real good tonight. So happy about that. Man. Oh, that is awesome. Just kind of easing along this river, taking take a step, take a cast, step cast, and finally right here in this little eddy, bam! Didn't have the camera rolling, but I was able to grab it out of my pocket without losing the fish. Couple of eagle feathers on the edge of the river here. So there's salmon jumping right here. And I really want one, but I am not having much luck. I've made 500 casts to them, trying to floss them. For those of you who don't know what flossing is, it's when a fish is suspended in the water, they're constantly breathing with, opening and closing their mouth, and if you cast a line across and just let it drift with the current, there's salmon right there, just let it drift with the current, sometimes you can get it like the line in their mouth, and then as the line drifts, it pulls the line across through their mouth until the hook hits, and then you can feel them set the hook. And that's what I'm trying to do, because they're not interested in feeding. Please stay on there. Please stay on there. Oh, yes. Yes. Ah. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. Yes. Yes. I am so flippin' happy. That right there is dinner, lunch, breakfast for the next couple days. Man, that is awesome. Got hooked up on one and hooked two more and they got off, and then finally got this guy, but changed up the retrieve a little bit, probably brought it up a little higher in the water column. Man, that is gonna be so flippin' good. It's bear tracks. Anyway, I'm gonna see if I can catch another fish. There we go. Red number 2. Well, that's enough food to keep us, I think, for the next, well, let's see here. I'm here for, what day? 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. I'm here for another 4 days, so that should be enough, those 3 fish. But I don't think I need to catch any more tonight. That is awesome. I love it. I love it. Love it. Let me just keep this little bear away from them. Salmon on the Barbie. That is the gold right there. So that right there is called milt, or white roe. It's basically the fish sperm. So these are males. So these sockeye are right out of the ocean. I mean, does not get any fresher than that. The gulls are waiting on their turn. I did bring some seasoning this time. Excited about that. All right, I'm gonna finish cleaning these fish, and I'll bring you guys back when it's time to put them on the grill, or make a grill, or do something. So I've got way more fish than I can use right now. So I'm going to build a little drying rack to put over the fire. I'm gonna cut these fillets into strips and hang them over a little alder fire to dry them so that we can take them with us tomorrow. When I go out on these trips like this with no food, when you finally do get your food sorted out, there's a level of contentment that is hard to replicate in any other way. Kind of a burden off of you. You can kind of relax a little bit. You don't have to be constantly on the search for food or wondering, what opportunities are going to present themselves or not. I think I'm going to use the paddle as a cutting board so I can slice these into strips so they'll dry. But before I do that, I'm just going to kind of hang them up whole and let that skin dry a little bit so they don't slide all around while I'm trying to cut them. Now I just got to hope that a bear doesn't come by tonight. Be nice to have a plank, but when you don't have a plank, you gotta paddle. There's actually a lot of meat in those heads. All the jaw muscles, like up in the cheeks, behind the eyes. There's a lot of fat in there too. Salmon's still down there, beckoning. Trying to get a bunch of gravel and stuff on it. Piece of salmon belly. I can't even describe how good that is. Oh, I probably look real gross. Let's try this roe. So this is the milt. Creamy. It's almost 9 p.m. and I finally got the last of the fish cut and hung on the little rack here. It's not the prettiest fish cutting job, but I think I did pretty good for what I had to work with. Now, I think the wind's going to be going down valley all night long. And so I haven't seen any brown bear sign. There's a little bit of black bear sign on this gravel bar here, but just to be safe, I'm going to set camp upwind, maybe 50 yards, just in case something comes and pokes around. If a black bear comes, I'll just come out and run it off. If a brown bear comes, I'll probably just let him have it. Hopefully no bears come. These fish heads looking like they're almost done. Oh, I'm tired. So my camp's down here maybe 50 yards or so I can see this, but far enough away that if a bear does come up from downwind, that they won't have to walk through my camp to get to it, which is preferable. Man, it has been a long day. Good day, but long day. I will be glad when those fish heads are done and I can crawl in my bag on that inverted raft. I think those fish heads should be done. And if they're not, I'm gonna eat them raw because I'm hungry and ready to go to bed. It is hot. That's that piece of meat that's in the cheek. Look at all that fat. Dang, it is hot. That big piece of skin off the head right there, that's all fat. That's where your calories are. Bleh. That's his nose right there. So it might be gross to some of you, but the fish head really is. That's where all the good stuff is. You see that right there is his eye, and behind his eye, or all around his eye, if I can get my finger in there without scalding myself because it's really hot, that is all fat, just a big old glob of fat. All right, and I'll just set it up good for a little while. I'll get up in a little while and check it. It's about 10 p.m. and it was a good day. Long day. Got where I can see the smoker. Got some bear spray handy. And the other bear spray. So just as soon as I lay down in bed, it started just kind of misting, just drizzling a little bit. You can see it coming in, but it doesn't take much to keep this fish from drying, right? So we're gonna improvise. I've got a little space blanket here. We're gonna try to put around this smoker and see if I can keep it dry and hold some heat. Well, it ain't the prettiest smoker I ever made, but hopefully it'll work. And if nothing else, I should be able to hear something getting in it tonight if a bear comes. That ought to make a racket. But anyway, bedtime. Morning. Looks like the smoker's still standing. Oh, it's pretty foggy this morning. Oh, but it's probably still 3 a.m., so I'm going back to bed. It never really rained hard last night, but it just kind of real light, misty, drizzly stuff. I'm glad I had this. Oh, yeah. I'm glad I had this little space blanket. Oh, there's some coals left. Isn't that nice? Oh, that crow's happy about it. I've never smoked anything with willow before, so I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm sure it'll be alright if nothing else. And it might be real good. There's a bear right there. Just caught a glimpse of him. Black bear. Tucked back into the brush. I can hear him. I can hear him walking. I don't know if he knows I'm here or not. This bear wants my food. I know he smells it. The smoke's drifting right across the river where he was at. Have to keep an eye on him. Trying to lay back down and go to sleep again, but every little noise I hear, I think it's that dang bear trying to get my fish. So last I checked the weather, we're supposed to have a decent day today, and tomorrow it's supposed to start raining like pretty heavily. And so what I want to do is hang out here long enough to get this fish dried enough that I can at least transport it. It's still pretty wet. It's starting to dry pretty good, but it's still got a long ways to go. And so we'll probably just hang out here, kind of tend this fire, and try to dry this fish out as much as I can. It's hot. This is the first moment I've had on this trip where I've been able to just kind of relax and take it all in. There is still a little bit of concern with the weather and the fish drying, but I think we're on track. I think we'll be okay. I threw this space blanket in just right at the last minute just because it was there. And I'm really glad I did because it's perfect. So the fish is drying pretty nicely. This is one of the pieces that was kind of off to the side a little bit. I'm just gonna cook this the rest of the way on the fire and have a little snack. So I don't have any salt or anything. That's good. So I brought just a little bit of seasoning, but not enough to season all this fish. But even without salt, seasoning, or anything, this is really good. It's getting close to probably noon. I'm gonna go ahead and just get everything packed up and then leave the fish on as long as I can. We'll get everything packed up and head down the river. So I've got an extra shirt here that I'm going to put all this fish in, but before I do that, I'm just going to let it cool so that it doesn't sweat too much when it's in there. While that's cooling, I'm going to go get my waders on and get everything loaded up in the raft. But that's good. It's everything. This turned out really, really nice. So we've got kind of a short float back out to the sound. Not exactly sure where I'm going to set up tonight. We'll just kind of have to scout it out once we get down there. So we'll just take our time and have a nice easy float down. If I can see any fish. It is just beautiful. Everything's just lush and green. Wildflowers everywhere. There's this plant out here that when I saw it, I kind of got excited because there's something out here called, I think, is it silverweed, silverleaf? I don't remember exactly, but it's got fat little stolons on it that are you can kind of use as a root vegetable, but this is not it. Just gonna pull up on this beach right here and check out this point and see if there's any good campsites. So that is a Drake mallard, or was a Drake mallard. There's one of the little curly Q things they on their tail. Something had them a good meal. No, 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 the raft. Oh, man, that scared me. Came around the corner, the raft was not where I left it. Luckily, the tide and the wind pushed it up into this thing, but I did not realize how fast the tide comes in this place right here. It is cranking coming in. This is where I left the raft right here. Left it and I was gone for 15-20 minutes. Come back and it's floating. Sometimes you get lucky like that and you can learn lessons without paying a big price, but sometimes when you are naive or just plain dumb, sometimes you have to pay the price. Luckily this time I didn't have to. Next time I do a survival video, it's gonna be 30 days on that island right there. Tune in. Such a cool spot. I would get up there and get some of that water, but there's shallow rocks right here and there's barnacles all over them. Barnacles will cut this backcraft and I'll be out of luck. We'll walk around and explore here in just a little bit. It's got to be some of the best food I've ever had on one of these trips. It's not a bad view from camp. If we can just keep the rain from blowing in on me. May have to make some adjustments to this thing if the wind starts blowing, but just drop this side down. It's the great thing about tarps is you can rig them so many different ways. Gotta remember to turn them inside out when you get done for the evening. They can dry out. Your feet get all clammy inside if you don't, because they don't breathe at all. I've drank water out of streams like this my whole life, and I've only been sick twice from waterborne illness that I know of. And once I was using one of those little kind of cheap filter straw things. The other time was just being dumb. I was scooped up some water that a bunch of sediment had been kicked up in, and drank that. And I want to try to avoid that. I won't drink out of just any stream, but stuff like this I feel pretty good about. Mm-hmm. That's good. Not as good as Grand Fir tea. That's got a lemony taste to it. But pretty good. Maybe that'll hold some coals for the morning. Oh. Morning. Guess what? It's raining. You couldn't just take one of these dry pieces with charcoal on it and light it on fire. You have to have that close proximity so it can build heat in there. But there's also got to be a little airspace. It's amazing what a little flame will do for your mood. Just another day for them. Nescafe Gold, baby. Cheers. If you can cheers with coffee, I don't know. Not sure if that's a thing. I'm gonna have to go see if I can find a big stump or something to throw on this fire to keep it going while I'm out. But if you get a big stump like that that kind of covers it, that'll keep it going through a pretty good rain shower. Sustained. I'm gonna take the raft around and see if I can find a tripod. So check this out. Could definitely make this work. A little bit of improvement. Got my side of the mountain tree. Not on this trip, but maybe a future trip. Very cool. Yep, no luck on the tripod. I'm sure it's probably in one of those patches of head-high fern. Probably walked right over it and didn't see it, but all sorts of little creatures that live under these rocks out here. I don't know what this seal's doing. It's amazing how well they blend with that rock. Just the dappled color of their hides just matches that rock perfectly. Stuff's actually not too bad. Just like that. But I want to try it cooked, just see what it's all about. There's mussels around here too. I'll throw a few mussels in there. I think I'm gonna let this steam for a few minutes. Smells good. Mussels are good. Not much in there, but what is in there is really good. A piece of gravel with that one. And some chopsticks. Be tough to make a living on these things, but I mean, there's millions of them. You just have to do a lot of picking. Oh, to keep her busy. The coffee's gonna be real good. Here, even the rain has its own kind of charm. It's just like a blanket that lays over the land. Makes you appreciate those rare, beautiful days like the day that we came in. I've said before that money is what we trade our lives for. And I think that for the most part that's true. But comfort and convenience might be more accurate. We trade everything for comfort, for easy. We trade our opportunities to grow and to become better, to learn about ourselves, to develop character and resilience. Comfortable is what we know. Everything else is wilderness, the unknown. But once you get out there, you start to realize that wilderness is where we're meant to be. Morning, folks. I see blue skies. All Alright guys, it's pickup day. My ride's not going to be here till about midday, so I'm just packing up camp and I'm going to get in the raft, paddle back over to the mouth of this river and see if I can't go upriver a little bit and maybe find some more of those sockeye. I would love to catch a few of those sockeye to be able to take home to the family, and I got some time to kill, so let's hop in and see what we can do. The fog's really rolling in heavy. I'm paddling straight into this stuff. Can't see where I'm going. It's kind of eerie. But the mouth of the river is in this direction, theoretically. Whew. Well, forward progress has all but ceased. So I think it's time to drag. The gnats are voracious. I had to put my head net on, just like attacking me. There's just like a cloud of them around me. Get a bead on where they're at, start making casts. Oh. It's not what I'm after, but I'll take it. I think that might have been what I was seeing, but maybe there's salmon in here too. That was a dolly, but I just saw another fish right here. First cast into this hole, let it drift through there. Bam, hook up. All right, folks, that is gonna be about it for this video. We came in on a beautiful day. We're leaving on a beautiful day. Travis is anchored right out here in the bay, so I'm just gonna float down the river, meet those guys, probably have a cold beer, and get back to civilization. But it's been awesome. I caught one really nice salmon up here, so we're gonna go ahead and I'll clean that, vacuum pack it, and take it back to the family so we can enjoy it all together. I've been on a lot of these survival trips, and it's this may be the first time that I've ever went home with a bounty of food. So I've got a ton of the dried salmon left that we did up here the other day. I probably got half of that left, and then got this big guy here. So doing good, and couldn't be happier. I hope you guys enjoyed that one, and we'll see you on the next one. Can I bum a ride?
Yeah, this will be good right here.
There's only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure.